Imagine you've just decided to buy a new car. Let's say it's a sleek, midnight blue Honda Civic. You've done the research, you love the color, and you've made up your mind. Suddenly, a bizarre phenomenon occurs. As you drive to work the next day, you see a midnight blue Honda Civic at the intersection. You see another one parked outside your office. On your way home, 3 of them pass you on the highway. Are you experiencing a glitch in the matrix? Is the universe magically shifting reality to align with your thoughts and sending you cosmic signs to confirm your purchase? Did your mere thoughts manifest these cars into physical existence? Millions of people on the internet, fueled by the multi-billion-dollar self-help industry, would tell you yes. They would call it the law of attraction. They would tell you that your thoughts have a vibrational frequency that magically pulls physical objects into your life. But what if I told you that there is absolutely zero magic involved? What if the reality of what is happening inside your skull is actually far more powerful, far more scientific, and far more controllable than any mystical crystal or vision board? Today, we are going to completely dismantle the concept of manifestation and rebuild it from the ground up using hard neurobiology. We are going to journey deep into the most ancient, primitive structures of your brain to uncover the biological machinery that literally dictates what you see, what you miss, and ultimately, what you achieve. The promise here is bold but simple. By the end of this deep dive, you will understand exactly why thinking positive thoughts usually fails, and you will possess a precise, scientifically validated blueprint to reprogram your brain's biological search engine. You will learn how to turn the abstract concept of manifestation into a mechanical, predictable neurochemical process. To understand why you suddenly started seeing that midnight blue Honda Civic everywhere, we have to start with a fundamental truth about human biology. Your brain is incredibly lazy, but for a very good reason. At any given second, your senses are bombarded with an unfathomable amount of data. According to neuroscientists, your brain receives roughly 11 million bits of information per second from your eyes, ears, skin, and other sensory organs. Think about the hum of the air conditioner, the feeling of your socks against your feet, the exact shade of the wallpaper in your peripheral vision, the distant sound of traffic. If your conscious mind had to process all 11 million bits of that data simultaneously, your brain would instantly overheat. You would go insane from sensory overload. To prevent this biological catastrophe, evolution equipped you with a highly sophisticated bouncer at the door of your conscious mind. This bouncer is a network of neurons located at the base of your brainstem, roughly the size of your pinky finger. It is called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. The RAS is the ultimate gatekeeper of your reality. Out of the 11 million bits of data hitting your senses every second, the RAS filters out 99.99% of it. It only allows a tiny fraction, roughly 40 to 50 bits of information, to pass through into your conscious awareness. But here is the million-dollar question: how does the RAS decide which 40 bits of information are important enough to show you, and which 10,999,960 bits to delete? For most of human history, the programming was simple. The RAS was programmed for pure survival. It scanned the environment for threats, a rustling in the bushes, the shadow of a predator, the smell of smoke. It also scanned for resources, the flash of a red berry in a green bush, the sound of running water. If information didn't help you survive or reproduce, the RAS deemed it irrelevant and deleted it before you even knew it existed. But we don't live in the jungle anymore. We live in a modern, complex society, and your RAS has had to adapt. Today, your RAS is programmed by your beliefs, your focus, and your internal self-image. It filters the world to match what you already believe to be true. This brings us to the core mechanism of what people mistakenly call manifestation. When you decided to buy that midnight blue Honda Civic, you inadvertently reprogrammed your RAS. You told the bouncer in your brain, this specific car is now highly relevant to my life. Before that moment, the cars were always there. You passed them every single day. But because they weren't relevant to your survival or your goals, your RAS filtered them out. They were literally invisible to your conscious mind. The moment you tagged them as important, your RAS allowed them through the filter. The universe didn't change, your biological filter changed. Now, pay close attention to this next part, because this is where the popular self-help industry gets it dangerously wrong. The guru on TikTok tells you to sit on your couch, close your eyes, and visualize $1 million. They tell you to just feel the abundance and the universe will deliver it. But when you open your eyes, you are still broke. Why? Because you cannot trick a neurobiological survival mechanism with superficial positive thinking. Your RAS doesn't just filter for what you want, it filters for what you deeply believe you are worthy of. This concept is known in cognitive psychology as confirmation bias, but it goes much deeper than just seeking out agreeing opinions. Your brain constantly seeks out evidence in the physical world to validate your internal identity. If deep down, your subconscious identity is wired with the belief that, I am bad with money, or I am not smart enough to start a business, or people like me don't get rich, your RAS receives a direct command: filter out any information that contradicts this identity. You could walk right past a brilliant investment opportunity. You could be sitting in a coffee shop next to a potential business mentor who could change your life. But if your internal identity is programmed for failure, your RAS will literally delete those opportunities from your conscious perception. You won't see them. You will only see the obstacles, the risks, and the reasons why it won't work, because that is the data that confirms your existing self-image. This is why people who win the lottery often go bankrupt within a few years. Their physical reality changed, but their neurological identity didn't. Their RAS was still programmed for scarcity, so it filtered their behavior and decisions until their external reality matched their internal identity once again. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if you could intentionally hack this system? What if, instead of letting your past traumas and limiting beliefs program your RAS, you could manually enter a new code? You can. And this is the true, biological essence of manifestation. It's not magic, it's called directed neuroplasticity. Your brain has the incredible ability to physically change its structure based on where you direct your focus. When you engage in intense visualization, you are not sending vibrations into the cosmos. You are doing something much more pragmatic. You are utilizing a process called value tagging. When you clearly define a goal, visualize the exact steps required to achieve it, and most importantly, attach intense emotion to that visualization, you are telling your amygdala, the emotional center of your brain, to signal the RAS. You are saying, this goal is crucial for my survival. Tag this as high value. Once a goal is value tagged, the RAS acts like a heat-seeking missile. Suddenly, it starts letting in data that it previously blocked. You start noticing an article about a new industry trend. You overhear a conversation that sparks a business idea. You suddenly see a solution to a problem you've been stuck on for months. The resources didn't magically appear out of thin air, they were always there, hidden in the 11 million bits of background noise. You just finally instructed your brain to see them. But wait, it gets even crazier. We haven't discussed the physiological action required to seal the deal. The biggest flaw in the law of attraction is the implication that belief alone is enough. From a neurobiological standpoint, belief without action actually creates cognitive dissonance, which leads to anxiety. To permanently reprogram your RAS and shift your identity, you must provide your brain with physical evidence in the real world. This is where the concept of identity priming comes into play. Your brain learns through action and feedback loops. If you want to reprogram your RAS to filter for success, you have to start taking the physical actions of a successful person, even before you feel like one. When you wake up early to work on your project, even when you are exhausted, you are sending a massive neurochemical signal back to your brain. You are providing undeniable physical evidence that says, I am a person who executes. Every time you take a small, difficult action aligned with your goal, your brain releases a small pulse of dopamine. This dopamine acts as a biological highlighter, strengthening the neural pathways associated with that new identity. Over time, through repeated action, you literally rewrite the neural circuitry of your prefrontal cortex. And this is the part that blew my mind when I first connected the dots. Manifestation is not about attracting things to you. It is about biologically transforming yourself into the type of person who is capable of perceiving and executing on the opportunities that already exist around you. So, how do we practically apply this neuroscience to our daily lives? How do we build a biological manifestation protocol? First, you must ruthlessly audit your current RAS programming. Take a piece of paper and write down the exact opposite of what you want. If you want to build a business, write down, I am meant to be an employee forever. Notice how that statement feels in your body. If it feels familiar, or if it causes a spike of anxiety, that is a clue to your current programming. You must identify the limiting beliefs that are currently instructing your bouncer to reject success. Second, you must implement strategic visualization, but not the woo-woo kind. Don't just visualize sitting on a beach with a margarita. Visualize the process. Visualize yourself encountering a difficult obstacle, feeling the stress, and then overcoming it. Olympic athletes do this constantly. They don't just visualize standing on the podium, they visualize the grueling race, the pain in their lungs, and pushing past it. This primes the nervous system for the reality of execution, not just the fantasy of the reward. Third, you must create an environment of constant cognitive priming. Your RAS is heavily influenced by your environment. If you want to change your filter, change the data you are feeding it. This means curating your social media feeds. Stop following accounts that trigger envy, outrage, or cheap entertainment. Follow experts in your field, read books that challenge you, and surround yourself with the vocabulary of the life you want to build. You are literally feeding your RAS the keywords it needs to search for in reality. Finally, you must execute the microevidence protocol. Your brain needs proof. Set a goal so small that it is impossible to fail, and accomplish it today. If you want to be a writer, write one single paragraph. If you want to get fit, do 5 push-ups. It sounds ridiculous, but neurobiologically, it is profound. You are providing your brain with an undeniable data point that contradicts your old identity of a procrastinator. You are saying, look, here is physical proof that I am a person who takes action. Here's the thing nobody tells you, the universe is not a catalog that you can order from with your thoughts. The universe is chaotic, indifferent, and overflowing with an infinite amount of data and resources. But you possess the most advanced supercomputer ever discovered, sitting right behind your eyes. You have a biological filter that dictates your entire reality. For most of your life, that filter has been programmed by your parents, by society, by past traumas, and by corporate algorithms designed to keep you distracted. But by understanding the neuroscience of the reticular activating system, by defining clear values, and by providing physical evidence through relentless action, you can seize control of that programming. You can turn your brain into a ruthless, highly calibrated machine designed to hunt down your goals. You don't need magic to change your life. You just need to understand the biology of your own mind. If this deep dive into the neuroscience of manifestation changed how you view your own potential, make sure to subscribe to Synapse Secrets. We expose the dark truths about human biology and psychology every single week, giving you the tools to take back control of your mind. Hit the like button, and let me know in the comments, what is the one limiting belief you are going to delete from your RAS today? Until next time, protect your brain, and take back your control.